Well, hello, this is Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we've never seen yet. I'm your host today. My name's Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
I'm Betsy.
Today, she's the co-host.
That's me.
Betsy, we're at the end of our journey, and we're at the present.
Present day.
Yes. So what was the point of all of our time-traveling adventures?
We learned so many lessons along the way.
And the friends we made along the way. We are watching a brand new movie, kind of, from this year.
2022.
2022 is the end of our journey. We are watching Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That's the name of the movie. We're not actually playing every single thing that has ever happened simultaneously.
Aren't we, though?
No, that would be too much, Trent.
It would be too much. Betsy, we chose this movie for this year because it's kind of the year of the multiverse.
Right. Our friends at Marvel have started entering that world a little bit more. Every movie, every TV show has started creeping more and more into the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got this movie, which has nothing to do with Marvel.
Nope.
It just happened to come out at the same time, and it is a movie about the multiverse.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk in, like, media and social media about the metaverse. And this is a different thing than the multiverse. Metaverse is, hey, this is just kind of all of your stuff in one place. Like, think about Facebook and their stupid metaverse. Like, they have their VR set, like they bought out Oculus a few years ago. Like, they have their Facebook stuff, they have Instagram, they have all this stuff into one thing, and they're trying to integrate you into a world in which all of that exists. But a multiverse is more, hey, there are parallel worlds where different shit is similar, but not the same.
There's different versions of you and everything you know
Yeah.
and everyone you know.
Right. It's
Running concurrently.
Right, and think about when they talked about the timelines. So if you were to have made a different choice at one point in your life, well, your life would have taken this trajectory. Well, instead you chose this trajectory, which is what you are right now.
Right.
But in another universe, this is where you would have been if you made this other choice, and so on and so forth. There's so many different things.
You might be a crocodile.
Sure. Anyway, we have finally watched the Loki TV show.
Finally, if you guys have been listening, how many times we said we didn't watch it, we finally caught up on that.
We finally caught up, but we're in the middle of watching Hawkeye. We're like 2 episodes into that. Eventually, we will catch up to that. But we are not talking about Marvel shit.
No.
This is completely different. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Betsy, what do you know about this one?
I know that this was kind of a surprise smash hit earlier this year.
Yeah, it's huge.
There are people who have seen this movie that I know like 2 or 3 times in the theater.
Yeah.
It is all the things you want it to be and more.
Yeah.
I know it sticks the landing. As far as like the actual content, it's Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
And there's something to do with her daughter. Like she's trying to find her daughter, reunite with her daughter. I don't really know. I just know there's something with her and her daughter.
All right.
I know Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Oh, okay.
And I know that one of the kids who was in The Goonies, the kid with all the gadgets,
Oh, yeah.
he's all grown up now and he is in this movie.
I think I did know that.
I don't know the actor's name.
He's starting to do a lot more work these days.
Yes, but everybody's been like, oh my God, it's that kid from The Goonies. It's that kid from Indiana Jones.
Sure, the gadget kid.
The gadget kid. So I know he is in this. I don't really know anyone else as far as the cast goes.
No.
And I don't really know the exact plot because when it's the multiverse, it can literally be anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with like a googly eye in the middle of your forehead.
Right. I know that this movie is like universally acclaimed. Like, I think it is still sitting at like 96, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that just doesn't happen anymore.
It's pretty rare.
The longer a movie is out there, the more people are going to get into it and maybe think it's not their thing. But in this case, that hasn't happened, like where the score hasn't really dropped all that much.
No,
it was
more
sitting at
people-
100% for a long time.
More people are seeing it and making that number probably go up or at least stay put.
Stay put, yeah. So, again, I don't really know anything about it. What Betsy said was kind of new to me. I didn't know Jamie Lee Curtis was in it.
She's in the trailer. She's just got a goofy wig and like
I also haven't seen a trailer for this movie
You
since
have.
maybe it was sometime last year, and I just kind of put it out of my mind. And now that it's been out here and just given all these accolades, we kind of have to see it.
I love that the first time I saw a trailer for this, and this is, I don't know if you remember this, we saw it before the newest Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
which
God.
is an entire movie about the multiverse.
Right.
And yeah, they had this movie as a trailer in advance, and I was like, what the hell Marvel movie is this? It's not. It just happened to be related. So the studio execs were very smart. And they said, you know who likes the multiverse?
These fucking nerds.
And it worked because a lot of people have gone to see this movie.
Yeah.
Yet here we are months and months later.
Wildly successful movie with a pretty diverse cast that I'm aware of anyway. So, yeah, Betsy, this is going to be the end of our journey here. It's the last one of our series of us going through the decades.
2022.
We're not going to talk about the next thing yet because we're going to go and watch Everything Everywhere All at Once first, and we will be right back. Betsy, holy shit, that was a lot. I want to get right into it here. What did you think of that?
The title of this movie is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, which is the descriptor of my feelings all over my body and in my heart and in my brain.
In everything.
At the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a roller coaster of emotions and humor and nonsense. And
just silliness.
It's chaos and action and it's
all
just
mixed
everything.
In. Yeah.
It's everything all at once. It absolutely lives up to its name. But I get why everybody was talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's just, for all of its insanity, it's also an incredibly simple, universal theme.
Yeah. The messages here are very simple and down to earth. In the end, it's just about family. It's about, motherhood.
Knowing yourself and
Yeah.
accepting yourself and accepting the people around you.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. It's fathers and daughters and mothers and daughters.
Right.
And husbands and wives.
Right, and it's all of the mundane things that aren't necessarily important, but those things are the most
that
important.
you take for granted.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I can't say enough good things about this one. Just in my initial watch of the movie, and I fully believe that we'll be watching this one again, just to there are some movies and even TV shows back in the day where they were referred to as VCR movies or VCR shows. Mm-hmm. Like I always think about The Simpsons, they would just throw in little jokes that would just pass you by, that would just flash on the screen for a split second. And for the people who were taping it on a VCR, you could go back and frame by frame, pause and just go through those. And those are the only people that would get those jokes. I'm sure this movie is just completely filled with stuff that we completely missed.
You were just looking at the behind the scenes kind of trivia things on IMDb.
Yeah.
And Jenny Slate is in this movie and she's picking up her laundry and her ticket is number 42.
Yeah.
Which, for you nerds out there, if you've ever read or watched the movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's a joke from there where the meaning of life, the meaning of everything in all existence is 42. Mm-hmm. Well, I've thought about this a long time, and it's 42. And that's it. But it's just that kind of a joke buried in here. I didn't pick up on that.
No, neither did I.
But you read it, and I go, oh, yeah, duh. No kidding.
Yeah, and apparently at the very, very beginning when we're looking in the mirror of them doing the karaoke, there's a little raccoon on screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's googly eyes, hidden throughout the whole movie. I'm sure there's a lot of... the whole thing about the everything bagel, there's a lot of circle imagery throughout the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Finding all of the circles, I'm sure would be an adventure unto itself.
Sure.
Yeah, it's incredibly layered and thoughtful.
It's thick.
It's very thick. It is everything all at once. Yeah, and just, Oscars for everybody, Trent. Oscars for everybody.
Sure.
Because Michelle Yeoh is doing so much in this. She is like restrained and sad, but she's also over the top and hilarious. She's broken and angry and feeling every emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, I don't know the actor's name, her husband, who is silly and sweet, and because they're playing different versions of themselves, he has to play different versions of himself where he's kind of like suave and cool and rich.
Right, and change within a split second.
And then her daughter is going everywhere from like funny little baby crying on the couch to psychopath
full on bonkers
who is beating a security guard to death with a dildo. And then you've got James Hong, who we've had on this podcast a couple of times before.
Yep.
The man is in his 90s. He is a cinematic icon. He is, if you were going to make a movie in Chinese culture in any capacity, if this man does not show up, you are doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong, yeah.
And he shows up as Gong Gong, the grandpa,
Yeah.
who's just old school and sits in a wheelchair, but then he pipes up and he does his part.
And eventually he has like a fucking robot suit made of
Yes, he
IRS materials.
Yeah, it's like toasters and his wheelchair and coffee pots. And he is a robot. Yeah, it's just everybody is pulling their absolute weight. Jamie Lee Curtis is going from frumpy auditor of the month, Deidre. What the fuck kind of a name?
Deidre Bo Deidre.
Deidre Bo
We need to get this right. Deidre Bobidra.
It's an absolutely stupid name.
Yeah.
And it's a joke. That's a fucking joke name.
Yeah.
Like, who's named that? And she has, like, butt plug trophies on her desk. And
Which absolutely come into play later on in the movie. Nothing is on screen that doesn't need to be there.
Correct. So she is playing, frumpy woman auditor whose husband left her. But then she's also like a pro wrestler who's fighting everybody and smashing them on her leg.
Well, like everybody is taking in to themselves skills from other universes. Mm-hmm. Which, speaking of that, this whole movie from beginning to end just gave me total Matrix vibes from like you just jacking into the Matrix and you can like download things to your mind.
Yeah.
And the fucking joke is I know Kung Fu, and that's exactly what she does.
The first thing she learns how to do is Kung Fu.
It's to fight.
And then when it comes to a climax, she can stop bullets.
Right, exactly. And in this case, turn the bullets into the googly eyes.
That's right. She can do anything she wants to because she figures out the secrets of the universe.
Yes.
So what's great about this movie is you can completely interpret this two different ways.
Okay.
One is that she actually experienced all of this, and the other is that none of this really happened. It's just her figuring shit out in her own brain, and it's one big fucking metaphor.
That's probably true. I would say that both are valid.
Both are true.
You had to go through that entire experience in order to get to where she is, where she can accept her daughter.
Exactly. And herself. Because
the
whole reason she is chosen is she is 100% untapped potential.
Yeah.
She never does anything for herself. She always picks up and drops hobbies. She always is focusing more on everybody else around her. But in doing so, she's also shoving them away.
Yeah, she could be good at a lot of different things. She just chooses not to. She's not good at anything.
She's living her least potential.
Right. Which is exactly why they choose this version of her, because she could just be the best at everything.
Yeah.
And she is.
I've never met anyone like you.
You're just terrible. You're perfect.
You're perfect because you are nothing to nobody. Yeah, it's just wild. It's a wild ride. There's a lot you can read into this about, like I said, did this happen? Did it not happen? this is a metaphor for like just accepting herself and her daughter and her husband for who they are and how they are.
It's a metaphor for all the different things that you go through as a person. You know, you talk to yourself, you go through, you work through so many different things on a day-to-day basis. And in one case, you're going to make one decision. Let's go to the restaurant tonight instead of cooking in. Well, that could completely change your life. I'm going to move from China to the US with this guy who wants to marry me. Or not. You could stay there and be taught how to do kung fu from a weird lady in white. You know?
It's one of those things that you don't always stop to think about, like how different your life would be. What's that one little moment that changed the entire trajectory of your own existence? And if you actually stop and think about it, you can think of several for yourself.
If you stop to think about it, you'll go crazy.
That also.
Yeah.
That is true. Like you go backwards and think about the minute things that all had to happen for you to be in existence in this world.
Exactly.
It will snap your brain.
Yeah.
And that's kind of also what happens to her because she is jumping through all of these different versions of herself.
Yeah.
And she starts to go too far and kind of cracks.
Well,
but that also allows her
Yeah.
to become everything. She can do all of it.
Yeah, she's taking everything into this version of her. And there was even one version of her where she's doing the whole like movie premiere thing, and her husband has to pull her back, saying you can't stay there. Like you can only take a little bit from there.
Don't be tempted.
You cannot be tempted to stay there because then everything will be fucked.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So one of the things about this movie I forgot was this is produced by the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys are paying attention, we were talking about Marvel and we were talking about all those things at the beginning. The Russo brothers are best known for the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
In particular, they directed those, and I think they wrote some.
They probably had something to do with
They
it.
at least in the latter ones, they were the guys creating that whole thing.
Yeah.
And the last Avengers movie is all about the fucking multiverse.
Right, and I guess that's just their thing now.
I guess so. They have different interpretations. In that one, there's actually characters who just decide, fuck it, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
In this one, if you do that, it's real bad. So it's not that they are only known for doing multiverse things. Frankly,
Sure.
they've already done different versions of it.
Sure, everybody has different rules for different types of multiverses.
It is just weird that it's those two guys involved in this project when this has nothing to do with Marvel.
I guess.
It's a weird coincidence.
It is. And I think the fact that it came out this year is just a happy accident because really this movie works in any time.
It really does. You could have set this movie 50 years earlier.
Yeah.
And it would make for a very different movie.
Everybody has to do taxes. The IRS is still
right.
a thing.
That's right. But it still would have had the same themes because the themes are so universal.
Yeah. As per usual, we are all over the place. And this movie is very all over the place too, but it is divided up into 3 different parts.
It's 3 parts, yes.
Yes, it is everything, it is everywhere, and all at once. Which is a weird thing to do. I mean, I don't really think it needs to be there, the different parts, but I guess it works.
I guess.
I mean, the first part is just introducing the concept of it and what she can and cannot do. The second part is setting up the conflict between her and her daughter and whatever this creature is, this monster is from this alpha
the bad
universe.
guy.
Yeah.
The villain of the piece.
And the all at once piece is all of it coming back together and her having the acceptance of her life as it is.
It does set a tone and an expectation when you have title cards like that because you're like, okay, this is a different chapter.
Yeah.
So
whatever it happens to be, it is separate and apart from what you just saw.
Yep, you got the prologue where it's just like, here's who she is, here's what she is, here's what's going on in their life. You get a little glimpse of her and her husband and her daughter being happy and cut to them not being happy anymore.
Right.
And you can tell that they're not... So they set up pretty quickly, they're Chinese immigrants.
Yes.
And they flawlessly are intermingling 2 languages because they are hopping back and forth between English and Chinese.
Yeah.
And they're having a birthday party, or not a birthday party, they're having a New Year's party.
Chinese New Year's party. Yeah,
where
they own a laundromat that they bought after they got into the US, and they run it. And it was just them for the longest time. They got pregnant, had their daughter Joy, and eventually, I believe her mother probably passed on, and her dad started maybe having some health problems, and they couldn't really take care of him where he was. He had to come live with them. And that just kind of makes things a little complicated, no matter what the situation is.
Yep. And they're being audited, and her husband is carrying around divorce papers, and their daughter has a girlfriend and is fighting with her parents because she wants to bring her to the party, but doesn't want to have to explain her to grandpa.
Yeah.
And is struggling to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, and Evelyn is not fighting, but she's like having to make excuses for the most part.
She's using him as an excuse to not tell the truth.
Yeah, he's from a different generation. He's not going to understand. And Joy is kind of going that much farther and saying, well, whatever, just say it. He's not going to be around for long anyway. And that's really harsh. And that's kind of introducing her nihilism about life in general. Like, she does find this person that she can be herself with, but she's still attached to her family that isn't accepting her as is, and is trying not necessarily to push her away, but to not fully accept who she is.
And her mom is, of course, the same way, because she fell in love with somebody her parents didn't want her to be with.
Right.
And they kicked her out of the family, so to speak. So she's got this fractured relationship with her own father, and the last thing she wants is that with her daughter. Mm-hmm. So she's holding on tightly when all her daughter wants her to do is kind of let her go and move on.
Right. And this is kind of the entire crux of the whole movie. But we have this stuff in between that she has to go on this journey in order to get there.
It's the Wizard of Oz trend.
Kind of.
You know, if she clicks her heels together and says there's no place like home, maybe it'll all work out. Yeah. But they have to go on the big adventure to get there.
Exactly.
Which is why I say it is just as likely that none of this happened. This is all just a metaphor for her working through her shit.
What was in those cookies?
Exactly. There were some smiley face cookies. We do not know the contents. They were passing them out willy-nilly.
Willy Wonka? I mean, that too. Anyway, so they have this struggling business. They're being audited. She buys all these things. Like you mentioned, she has these hobbies that she thinks that, oh, I can just write those off as business expenses because they might make me money eventually.
Her husband, when they're at the auditors, sort of plays off, well, she's just this like stupid immigrant and she just doesn't understand the difference between business and personal expenses.
Right. She doesn't know the difference between hobbies and businesses.
Yeah, and so she feels really belittled by that, I suppose.
And she knows like he does this all the time throughout even the movie. Like, he's the one who is like making excuses, going up to her and trying to make a deal.
My stupid, silly husband. Right. What did my stupid husband say to you?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, she's not even listening to him.
No.
So this is a very messed up situation. This woman has a lot of shit she's got to figure out, and about herself and with her daughter and her father and her husband.
Right, and even like in how the movie is shot and presented to the audience, the first third of the movie, it is just overwhelming. There's so much happening on screen at the same time and so quickly.
But it's also not happening in that big a span or realistically in a set. So they're in the IRS building.
Right.
And they're there for 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
It takes place in the course of maybe 20 minutes, half an hour.
Even at the very beginning when they're in the laundromat, there's so many different things happening around them. It's crazy.
But they introduce the concepts to you very quickly. So she's in the elevator riding up to the IRS meeting, and somebody taps into her husband's psyche. So it's another version of her husband from the Alphaverse. Yeah. And he says, you're in danger, and gives her like notes on what to do.
And we get introduced to that earlier on before they even leave, like on the security monitors, he does the thing where he just kind of clicks in. And he's like running around the laundromat and doing weird things.
And they don't really explain why.
No.
Other than we're just going to show you this right now.
Yeah.
There's no real reason for that to have happened other than you as the audience needs a sneak preview so you understand what's going to happen in a minute.
Sure.
But he gives her these like little Bluetooth things and says, okay, you're going to do this random thing. You're going to think a thought and then you're going to push the green button.
And this is like fucking Alice in Wonderland shit.
Right.
Like, if you drink me, you'll do this. If you eat me, you'll do this.
Yep.
And if you go into the closet, it'll be one thing. If you go to your meeting, it'll be another thing.
And you can sort of do both things at once.
Sure.
Like put your own body on autopilot and then access this other universe at the same time. Which, going back, this is the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness stuff. I don't know if you thought about that, where he has to have another version of himself in a different universe and they can access it.
Right.
That's like the whole plot of that movie.
Yeah.
So that's what this is, except in this movie, she is kind of reaching out, grabbing it, and bringing it back, as opposed to running around in that other universe, in that person's body.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
She's checking out.
Right. So her body is still there. She can reach in. She can grab a file, basically, like you said in The Matrix, upload it to herself, and use it in the universe she's in.
Right.
And they don't explain right away the whole doing random things. You just see her. She's supposed to switch shoes on her feet.
Right.
She has to put right on left and left on right. And later on, we see her husband eat a tube of chapstick.
And he does explain it a little bit later. He says, just do the most random thing that you would think to do.
The universe is such
doesn't know how to react to what you are doing.
That any random sequence of events can trigger access to something different.
Yeah.
So we see just a bunch of these. Jamie Lee Curtis staples a piece of paper to her forehead.
Yeah.
Her husband gives himself paper cuts in between each of his fingers.
I don't like that.
No, that was terrible. What else? Like all the different security guards sticking things up their butts. Or she snorts a fly.
Yeah.
She wipes snot off her father and sticks it in his mouth.
Yep.
It's absolute chaos, all of these different things that they do.
Yeah.
There's like a sequence where everybody in the office is doing something different. Someone's humping a lamp, someone's licking the wall.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck am I watching?
And like, I as you write this movie, it's very strange how, okay, you have to get from here to here. Okay, what is the most random possible thing that you could do in this space? Now, there's an infinite amount of things you can do, but you're limited to what you have here. So you introduce things like the butt plug trophies. Everybody's thinking it. At least we were thinking it anyway. But when you see that on screen, okay, that's gotta be something. You're not gonna have that name and have you as the best auditor.
And that is clearly just a butt plug that they super glued.
It's just a fucking butt plug.
They super glued to a base. That is not even a prop. That is truly a butt plug.
Even like the trophy the guy has later, that has the butt plug on the top of it. Oh my God. But
also, this is an R-rated movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's all for those reasons. Like they say fuck a few times.
They do.
But most of it is honestly just the stuff like that. She's beating someone with dildos and they're shoving butt plugs up there. And there's a dude flying through the air with his junk blurred.
You know, if they really wanted to go there and make a hard R, they would have just had him just pantsless the entire way, censored.
I feel like that though. And they show you what he's doing, and you know what he's doing. Like they don't give you the whole thing, but they give you enough.
Yeah.
And if they had gone any farther, that scene would have had to been cut. Like there's no universe.
It has to be goofy. It
has
cannot
to be
have
so
to be
stupid.
Yeah, it has to
for comedic effect.
And yeah, I think her, especially at the very end of the movie, she's listening to her husband to say, don't be violent anymore, do these other things instead.
Be kind.
And instead, like, she's throwing people's heads together and they start kissing and
they have a wedding.
They have a wedding right there. There's the guy there that has the sex dungeon in the office area. She sends him off and spanks him and puts a gag in his mouth.
But it's what he wants.
Yeah.
And he loves it. Or like giving people like little toys and their childhoods back and they're all just happy.
Right.
She's just giving them what they want most in the world.
Right. And of course, like I said, turning the bullets into googly eyes. And yeah.
Like there's a dude with a neck problem and she fixes it.
You got some problems here with your vertebrae. If you do this, you're going to be sore for a little while, but you'll be okay.
So you get all that. And then you also get these glimpses of the different versions of her, and she's not good at this verse jumping. So she keeps accessing these places she really shouldn't be, like a universe in which everybody has hot dog fingers.
Oh, no! Oh,
What was that?
But of course, it is the thing that she can get out of it is everybody in a universe like that has to be very good at doing things with their feet.
Eventually.
Just like people who don't have hands or arms, that's a real thing. You have to do things with your feet. So in this universe, she can take that out, and right after she gets out of that, she's able to like grab people with her feet and push them off, I guess.
I do like that they pick what seem to be really mundane, terrible places for her to go, and she manages to grab something useful from all of them. So like that one, her hands go limp and she doesn't know how to fight. She can't do anything because she
downloaded the wrong thing.
Wrong
like
file.
That's the thing that she's taking out of it. It's like, oh my god, it's like hot dog fingers. Ah.
And it takes until much later for her to realize she can use her feet instead.
And of course, in that world, she's like in a relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
She's like an old cat lady.
Yeah.
And they fall in love.
Right.
And they love each other, and she plays the piano with
her feet.
She plays the
piano with her feet.
So there's that universe. There's where she is a sign flipper on the side of the road.
Right,
she has like a
pizza.
And she's really good at flipping a sign. There's one universe where she trips as a child and blinds herself.
Right.
And she becomes a talented singer.
Right.
And so she's really good at using her other senses.
Yes.
And she can dodge and move around everybody who's attacking her. In one universe, she's a hibachi cook. And there's another guy there
doing the ratatouille thing.
It's not ratatouille, it's Raccacoonie.
Raccacoonie.
There's a raccoon puppet on his head driving him to cook.
And they even they pointed out, like, oh, is that movie like Ratatouille? No, it's Raccacoonie.
That's a movie. That's a real thing.
I've never seen Ratatouille, but I know what it's about.
And of course, you were looking this up. There is an uncredited voice as the voice of Raccacoonie.
Yes.
And it's fucking Randy Newman.
It's Randy Newman, because why not?
Because why not? I don't even think he had anything to do with Ratatouille.
He didn't.
But he has been known to show up in, Toy Story.
Right. Pixar has said that Randy Newman is their good luck charm, and they try to put him in where he fits, but... yeah, I don't understand. Why not? Just do it.
By proxy, you could do the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Disney owns Marvel. Marvel had the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers made this movie, and let's use Randy Newman.
Yep. Jeez, I know we're going all over the place here, but this movie, it can't really be described to someone. You have to see it, and it's the whole spectacle of it. Like, we can pull out, okay, this scene and this scene and this scene, we're going to talk about, but there's no way we can just sit down and talk about the entire thing. We can only talk about themes here.
No, like I said, the plot is very simple.
Yes.
So to speak.
Yeah.
But it's everything built around it that moves this whole movie along. Like, this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes just about.
Yeah.
It does not feel that long.
It cooks, and I think the reason why is because they're cramming so much into these scenes, and they're also moving the plot along with it. It may not make sense to you, but eventually you're going to get there.
So the main plot is this woman, Evelyn, has been chosen to save all of the universes because there is an evil being who was pushed too far and now can access every universe everywhere.
Right.
And she's going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
And she has this thing, but we don't know exactly what it is or what it does.
Yep.
But we can't let her unleash it onto the universe, and you're the only one who can stop it.
Sure.
And of course, the big twist is, and it's not even a twist because you know right away.
Of course.
It's her daughter.
Yeah.
But it's not her daughter. It's Jobu Tupaki. It's like a weird name they just keep saying that sounds like gibberish and no one understands it.
She didn't even get it at first.
No. She calls her Chewbacca or something.
Yeah, it's Chewbacca. But yeah, it's embodying her daughter, quote unquote, in every single universe that they come across, but it's so powerful that it cannot be let loose onto the rest of the universes. So it finally makes it all the way to where our hero is, and there's this scene where it's kind of introduced into into this universe in the big hallway, where this is right after her and her husband get arrested. They're in handcuffs, and these cops show up, and they're trying to take everybody away. But then up the service elevator comes Joy, just wearing. I love all of her outfits in this.
God damn, her costumes are incredible.
Yes.
And she just changes every 12 seconds because she can.
Yeah, and I think I wrote this down. This is the last note that I took about this character. I said Joy, as a person, wants to be more like unique and special and just stand out. And of course, the representation that we get is her just being all crazy and wearing all this crazy stuff and constantly shifting.
When she unleashes her potential, she's changing. But she's also fickle and infinite. You know,
Right,
she's just
right.
constantly changing to the point it's absurd.
Yeah.
But she shows up dressed as Elvis with pink hair and a pig.
Yep.
And then turns a cop into confetti.
Well, and like the confetti is representing blood in this case, because she makes him like puke out blood and eventually makes his head explode in confetti.
There's no blood. It's all
blood.
confetti.
Yeah, that's supposed to be blood. So, yeah.
And she turns another cop into like a Carmen Miranda type with like fruit on
I don't know what that is.
The gal with fruit on her head from the 1940s.
Okay.
Yeah.
The yellow outfit.
Yes.
Yes, all right, got it.
The Chiquita Banana type of
Thank
stuff.
you. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's Carmen Miranda. She's
all right.
Yeah, anyway. But she changes into that. She's wearing like this blue fur coat and kind of looks like a Harajuku girl at one time.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a little golf outfit with like pink and cute and a visor, but she's always got wild hair and wild makeup. She shows up at one point, I don't know what you call her, like an anime girl wearing all black with a giant machine gun.
I didn't see that one.
It's right at the time where her mom's brain kind of collapses in on itself and she throws up everywhere and then collapses on the floor. That's what she's wearing at that time.
Okay.
You were a little distracted by the second movie in a row where somebody is violently puking everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like also in like a Mexican wrestling outfit. And
luchador outfit,
she's in like a luchador, and she like fucking takes one of the guards and pile drives him into the ground. And yeah, that whole hallway scene was very revealing about her as a character, but it also introduces, okay, this is where Joy learns the kung fu stuff, I guess. Where she can unleash it.
And this actress, I've only seen her in one other thing. She was in the most recent season of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And she's great in that, and she's amazing in this movie. This is an uninhibited performance.
Yeah, and I think she's very like low key to begin with as the daughter, and when she's introduced. But then, yeah, she's just like fucking, here I am.
Chaos embodied.
Yes, exactly.
And she's just shoving her mother through these different worlds and costumes. They're cartoons, they're rocks, they're piñatas.
They're like drawings.
They're like a child's drawing.
Like crayon drawings.
Yep.
Like animated crayon drawings. Yeah, and then they're a piñata later. And then they're rocks. Betsy.
They were rocks.
I love that scene with just the text on screen saying, you know, I've seen thousands and thousands of different universes, and most of them are like this, where life just could not find a way. And for them to just, okay, let's bring everything back down. There's no dialogue except the text on the screen. And apparently, when they were shooting this scene, it was 118 degrees.
That's really warm.
It's really, really hot.
They're clearly in the desert.
They're clearly in the desert because you cannot see any kind of vegetation on screen at all. It's just rocks. And vegetation would be considered life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have a question. So we're going through all these different things. We have this MacGuffin of the Everything Bagel portal.
But it's literally everything. She took
Right.
all songs and
Everything.
life and
Everything.
musical,
her hopes
everything.
and dreams, everything.
And then put, sesame seeds and salt in.
Right. The things you put on an Everything Bagel.
And she has a big black metaphorical literal bagel.
Yeah.
out in the universe somewhere.
So what's that about? Like, what is her goal here? What is the monster's goal, let's say? I didn't get that.
So she is telling her, because she has seen everything, she has realized the ultimate meaning, which is there is no meaning.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
That's
Everything is
that's
meaningless.
the nihilism part of her coming out, which is the same as what I mentioned before about her as her daughter. You know, she just wants to stand out. She wants to be let go and not stifled by her mother.
But that's the other thing, is that's why I'm saying it's a metaphor, because it also is just... The big climactic scene is she tells her mom, just let me go. Just let me go. And she starts vanishing into the bagel.
Yeah.
But then her mother pulls her back out again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of her own self-destructive tendencies, I guess, and accepting that nothing matters. I think ultimately the only thing it would have been destroying is herself and anyone else who goes in there.
Yeah.
But I get why you're confused, because it is a little unclear, but it's just a big metaphor for nothing matters and I just want it all to be over with.
Right. And at the end of the movie, her mom is saying, okay, I'm going to let you go, but at the same time, damn it, you need to call me more. Damn it, you need to take better care of yourself. And that's the other thing. She keeps calling her Evelyn in these other universes. She says, I'm your mother. Call me mom. Mm-hmm. And that's a really good, like, motherly thing that you would want to do.
And her final kung fu move is give me a hug.
Right.
Like going for the hug.
Right.
And they work it out. They resolve all their shit and they find the balance and the force in the universe, as it were.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really impressed by how much this movie is making me think about just the very simple things that it is presenting to me and like extrapolating that into much, much more. And they threw a lot at the screen to show me what they were trying to show me. And yeah, it's just a lot, and it's going to take me a while to process this.
It's an everything bagel, and you love it or you don't.
I don't like everything bagels, especially right when they put an everything bagel in right before the actual bagel that I want in the cutter, and you get some of the extra shit on it. It's like,
now we're
God
talking
damn
quite
it.
literally about everything bagels.
Yes, I'm talking about everything bagels. They suck.
The last thing you want is onion touching your bagel.
That's right. I only really like... our bagel shop calls them like the cinnamon crunch bagels.
You like sweet bagels.
I like sweet bagels.
Or plain bagels.
I don't want anything else on it but what I want on it. And when it goes
no
through
cream cheese.
And when it goes through the cutter and it's got all that shit on it and it gets on the next one that's in there, maybe have a cutter just for the everything bagels. And then a cutter for the rest of them.
We've hit on a controversial opinion because I think most people love everything bagel, so I think you and I are a rare exception to this.
Yeah, I do not like that. Anyway, enough about actual bagels. We could keep on going on and on about like little things about this movie, but we would be here forever because there's so much to talk about. Just if you haven't seen it already, go and watch the movie because it is a spectacle for the eyes and the ears. But Betsy, before we end this, what else did you have?
So a couple of like just the filmmaking things.
All right.
There's one sequence, and I think it's when her brain kind of overloads, where they do this rapid fire where Michelle Yeoh is center frame, and it's showing one after another, like dozens of different shots of her in these different universes. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming a lot of those are real. Like they put her in a makeup chair, they gave her a costume, and they took a couple of seconds of film.
Not even. That is like a single frame for every single thing.
Yes, but they probably did a few seconds and then just picked one.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure they really did that. And that is a lot of effort for like 10 seconds of film.
Right. But it's the spectacle. It is just having all of that happen in front of you. And they do a lot with lighting, especially like the in that scene where like the red light and blue light is kind of swirling around.
Yep.
Yeah. And I read another thing. Apparently, like, the way they did the special effects for this movie is not how they did it for any other movie. There was like 9 people who did the special effects for this movie. 9, including some of the directors.
Well, because most of them, it's not a special effect. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Right. But what how they did it was they just used a bunch of like YouTube tutorials on how to do this movie.
Huh?
Yes.
How do you...
They
what?
learn how to do whatever effects that they're trying to do by just watching tutorials on YouTube.
So, like the scene where she's holding a sword that turns into 15 other things.
Yeah.
Some 15-year-old boy on the internet taught them how to do it.
And apparently one of the things that her sword turns into is an Oscar statue.
All right, then. To go back one more time about the costumes, the one I actually really liked the most is at the end of the movie where her mom grabs her daughter by the wrist and she kind of falls down the stairs and she's sort of in the middle of transitioning costumes and universes. So she's rolling down the stairs and her outfit keeps changing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And when she lands, it's like she's wearing 4 or 5 different costumes.
Yeah.
So her face is made up on half in one way and the other half is something else.
Yeah.
And her hair is like 3 different styles.
It's super cool.
It's a great outfit. It just looks like a glitch in the Matrix.
It's a jumbled mess, yeah.
Yeah, and so I really hope that they get some kind of a nod for costuming for her stuff alone.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. But you also have like tuxedos and like red carpet dresses, and
Sure.
you've got Chinese kung fu movie outfits.
Right.
And you've got...
Also, by the way, Betsy and I have not seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
We have not.
Of which Michelle Yeoh is one of the stars.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
We haven't seen it. Eventually, we will see it.
We will. So if nothing else, I hope that one gets a nomination. But since we're on the topic, how do you think its chances are when Academy Awards are? This was released in March, which usually is not a time people are putting out Academy Award movies because they want you to have them fresh in your memory when voting time rolls around, which is why November, December's when so many of these come out.
True, and that sucks. Like, there have been movies that have put out in February, March. We talked about the Grand Budapest Hotel came out, I think, in March, and that got nominated for Best Picture.
The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind came out in, like, February.
Yeah.
And Kate Winslet got nominated for that.
Yeah.
So I think this is not one they necessarily put forward thinking that it would get nominated.
Sure.
But given the quality of the film we watched, given the quality of the acting and the costumes and the special effects, I think it's got a shot to at least get some recognition.
Yeah, I feel like this movie was just kind of put out there because they couldn't find it a slot earlier the previous year. Because if it did, it probably would have gotten the nominations for whatever it's going to get for last year. But they put it out in 2022. And if anything, it might get nominated, not by accident, but if it gave that big of an impression of like us. Like, I'm kind of dumbstruck as to how I want to react to this because I enjoyed what I saw, but it was just so much. Which is to say, maybe the Academy voters have to go and watch it again to really get it. I don't know.
But that being said, it's sitting at a really high percentage on Rotten Tomatoes. It's gotten really great reviews, and it leaves an impact.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know people who have watched this movie multiple times. And if, Joe Schmo on the street loves this movie, you have to believe people in the industry love this movie.
Despite its confusion factor, because it's there.
Okay, I don't think it's that confusing. It's just overwhelming. This is definitely a movie that bears repeating because you have to catch so much the first time around that your brain is like, holy hell, what's happening?
Right.
But once you've seen it and got it out of your system, you can watch it again and just enjoy the ride.
Right. I think it will get some nominations here, if for nothing else. Like you said, like some of the technical things, the costumery. I mean, acting is definitely up there. I think Michelle Yeoh is, I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of other like new movies from this year, but I would put her at the top.
I think in the very least, she is at that point in her career where it would make sense that they would put her on the list at least.
Yeah.
Will she win?
At the very
Again,
least,
I don't
they're
know.
going
It's
to
too
submit
early.
her to the Academy for your consideration.
Yes. I would love to see the other two nominated for supporting roles.
Agreed.
That being said, I would bet higher on Michelle Yeoh.
Agreed. Yeah.
So we will see. We've got many, many months before that rolls
We
around.
were just talking this morning about, okay, well, we kind of have our planned list here, like getting up to November.
For what we're going to watch.
For what we're going to watch for the show. And yeah, November, that's when most of these other Oscar movies are going to really start hitting the theater. So we're going to have to pull back, maybe planning anything past the middle of November. So, but yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to talk about, Betsy. Are you done?
I think you should just go watch this movie. If you've gotten all the way this far into the podcast and you haven't seen this movie...
I don't think we spoiled anything in this case.
This movie is really hard to spoil.
You can't spoil it, yeah.
Because there's just so much going on while also nothing going on.
This is a visual movie.
This is a visual movie. Somebody told me at work a couple months ago that they were going to see this for the second time.
Yeah.
And their recommendation was see this on the biggest damn screen you can.
I don't disagree.
I think if this one gets another run in the theater, we might have to go see it on the big screen.
We'll see.
When the Academy Award nominations come out, if this gets nominated, maybe we'll give it another go.
Maybe. All right, Betsy, that's gonna be the end of this journey in time. But before we get out of here, we got an email to read. This one comes in from another brand new emailer.
Woohoo!
Yeah, 2 in a row. This is coming in from Sergio from Amsterdam. You know, that Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So Europe representing. All right, about our 1982 episode E.T. Hello, Betsy. Hello, Trent. When you announced the year 1982 in your 1972 episode, my first thought was, hey, isn't E.T. from 82? Indeed it was. I had to look it up, and yes, I was right, but immediately concluded that you would be talking about a different movie because you obviously would have seen this movie already. You got me.
You underestimate Trent's ability to ignore pop culture.
Miss things. Yeah. Well, I was wrong, and I was happy. Because not only did you talk about my favorite movie of that year, but Betsy also shared my angst of the same scenes. I can remember vaguely seeing the movie in the cinema with my brother and other people. I wasn't very fond of the scary bits because they scared me so much that I think I was crying and had to move to the back of the cinema to calm down a bit.
Oh no! I can relate. Yeah, that movie for little kids is not pleasant.
Near the end, there's some scary bits in there, and you know, when you know what they are and what they're there for, it's okay. But on first viewing, when you're a kid, yeah, that's creepy.
Well, and you just watched it as an adult, and you can get
I
that
can
from
put myself in that position.
Yeah.
Totally. Back to the email. My favorite parts were the ones with little Drew Barrymore. I think I fell in love. I was at the same age, and I could relate to her emotions more than to the kid with the alien. That's really sweet. I haven't seen this movie since the 80s and wondered how it held up. After hearing Trent, I guess it held up quite well. It did. It totally did. Again, I think what I said in the episode, it is very timeless. There's some things in there like technology. You're always going to date the movie.
Things.
The standard stuff.
Everyone's hair.
Technology and fashion are the two things that date movies the most out of everything. But as like a story, it holds up very well.
And cinematically, like it's shot well, it's acted well, the music is amazing.
The music, I think, it was very iconic. So, Sergio says, thanks for also mentioning the video game and the other movie. I don't think we should name them too often. Better left forgotten as far as quality is concerned. Maybe from a historical perspective, that's the only time we ever talk about this. Of course, talking about Mac and Me and the Atari video game.
The man just said, don't bring it up again, and you just brought him up again.
I can never forget those. He says, I can't remember much from 1992, except that I was in a bad mood, so I hope the next episode will change that completely. Love the show. Sergio from Amsterdam. Well, thank you, Sergio, for emailing in. Always awesome to get another new emailer, especially, hey, from Europe. That's amazing.
Woohoo! And I hope that you enjoyed our 1992 episode of White Men Can't Jump.
Indeed. Email us about that, too, if you like that. But that's all we got here for today, Betsy. If you want to be like Sergio and our last emailer, Nicole from last episode, and Stephanie and Mitch and everybody else who we've ever talked about here, email us neverseenitpod@gmail.com is the email address. We want to hear from you. You don't have to email us about the thing that we just put out. You can email us about any of the episodes that we have done up to this point. We're at 160 some things. You're gonna find one that's gonna interest you, I promise.
Or if you want to tell us about a movie you think we should watch that we haven't covered before.
We are completely open to suggestions here. Our next lineup of movies is pretty well planned out until the middle of November, but we still want to hear from you because we have to plan things out in advance because we're busy people. We don't do just this. We don't make a living off of this.
Not yet.
Not yet. But if you want to support us, you can do that by clicking the link in the podcast description. You can throw us a buck on Anchor. We would very much appreciate that. Follow us on all the social medias as well. We got Twitter. It is neverseenit_pod on Twitter. Facebook and Instagram is neverseenitpod1. Betsy posts things every single day on those social media sites about the stuff that we have coming up, teasers for what we have coming up, anniversaries, birthdays, all sorts of shit. You can interact with us on there. We're always on there. So yeah, drop us a line on there if you don't want to email. But like I mentioned, that's the end of our time traveling journey. We have a series coming up right after this one. It's not going to be like a series of the same kinds of movies. It's another amalgamation of, let's just say, some weird choices.
A broad theme.
Yes. Of course, if you were around last year, it is going to be October very soon. And I think you can guess what we're going to do in the middle of October.
Christmas movies.
Yes. We're rewatching all of the Fast and Furious again.
I hate you. Don't you dare.
No, that is going to be the end of this episode. Betsy, I want to thank you for traveling along with me through the decades.
All these years together.
Anyway, that's the end of the show. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll be back to you with another episode of Never Seen It next time.
Bye, guys.